Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica. It's so great to have you here. I am a mother of 3 children. Sometimes feels like I have 300 children. Really cute. Eloise is 6. She just turned 6. Wilson turned 2 days after Eloise turned 6. And then Juliet, we call her Jules, she is 8 months old. Well, okay, she's a preemie. So she was born in October, but she was born 6 weeks early, 5 weeks early. Anyway, all that to say, I have 3 kids. I like them a lot. I'm not the best mom you've ever met. So if you're looking for videos from the best mom you've ever met, you're on the wrong channel. However, I am a mom who loves my kids. I try pretty hard. I'm like obsessed with them. I am really afraid they're gonna be eaten by bears. That's a real thing. My friend, he lives in the wilderness here in Los Angeles. If you didn't know we have wilderness, we do. And he saw bears, and then he was just candidly telling me stories about the bears and how bears can eat your kids and how you're not supposed to get in between a bear and her cubs. And this is real. I've been having actual nightmares about what if I'm at a park here with my kids and I see a bear and it eats my kids. So I'm not the best mom, but I am a bit of a psycho mom. Welcome to my channel. So glad you're here. I have a small business. It is called Very Good Mothers Club. Be sure to check that out if you haven't already. If you are a parent looking for more support in your parenting journey, we have a Facebook group with really great people who are mostly pretty kind, though the group's getting big. So sometimes it's questionable, guys. But overall, really good people on there. You request to be in and answer the questions so we know you're real, and come on in and be supported in your parenting. If you want more of my family, you can follow me on Instagram at Jess_Hover. You can also find my husband on there. And today's video, I'm gonna be answering questions that you are currently sending me on Instagram right this very moment. That's because I didn't have a better video idea for this week and I really wanted to film, so it turned into a Q&A video. I hope that it's everything you need in a short, sweet video. I like you guys so much. But before I begin, I'm going to pause for a little break to tell you about today's sponsor. Hi, my name is Jessica, and I like to trick my kids. I love my kids, and my kids love sweets. This is a product that I use to give my kids the gift of delicious sweets while tricking them, because listen to this. These bougie bakes are fancy organic, gluten-free, sugar-free, dairy-free, and they have vegan options. I did already start eating some of them, and my family went through a tin of these a few weeks ago. So look at these flavors here. We have chocolate chunk, double chocolate, peanut butter, and sugar-free sugar. Sugar-free because it's made with erythritol. And I know what that is because one of my lesbian moms, she is vegan and so good at eating healthfully. She's amazing. And she introduced me to erythritol. So last, we have these delicious cookies that I highly recommend. They were baked here in Los Angeles. They ship nationwide. Sorry about that. Thank you, Bougie Bakes, for partnering with me on this video. Oh, my favorite kind is this one, the chocolate chunk. Erythritol, if you don't have a vegan lesbian mom to teach you what it is, consider me your honorary mom to teach you. The rather scientific sounding, a natural sweetener derived from plants. It has 0 glycemic impact, which makes the bakes sugar-free. All of their products are made with high-quality ingredients, such as almond flour, erythritol, collagen, coconut oil, vanilla extract, and pink Himalayan sea salt. They are also fully sustainable. They're gonna ship your first order in this cutie patootie little tin so that all your reorders can be stored right in here. And then all of their additional packaging is either recyclable, compostable, or biodegradable. Even these things, the plastic that came around this, it's not actually plastic. It's made from plants. It's not gonna harm the planet. No fish were mad about this. But wait, there's more. Bougie Bakes wants to give you 20% off of your order. Click the link in my info box and use promo code Jessica20, my name and my age. You're gonna love them, and I love you. Thank you, Bougie Bakes. First question. This is a good question. The person who sent it said this might be TMI, and anytime someone starts with that, I kind of like it. So this might be TMI, they said, but could you talk about sex after having a baby? She said that she is pregnant and nervous about that. So when are you supposed to have sex after having a baby? The estimation that the doctor will give you is around 6 weeks, but you usually go in for a checkup to make sure that your nether regions are as they should be before you're having sex. I would recommend that. I think it's a wise thing to do. You also, she was asking about pain level. It might hurt, so I think that's important for you to assess and keep in mind. If it's hurting you, that is telling you something that your body might not be ready for it, or that you might need to take it slow. Another thing she said is, what about feeling insecure about your body? Does that happen? And the answer is yes, that can definitely happen. If your person, your partner, your spouse is wanting to have sex with you, they love you, and probably, I don't know your story, but I'm guessing that baby that came out of you is their baby too. That's maybe who you're having sex with. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But they can definitely handle the fact that you just had a baby 6 weeks ago. If they don't like your body, well, if they don't like your body, they can go hang out by themselves in the bathroom, can't they? Because you just had a baby. And if they want to be having sex and then they look at your body and think, I don't like that, then they don't get to have it. That's my friendly opinion. No, I think that you will be pleasantly surprised by how well your person, your partner, your spouse loves you. And that physical intimacy portion of the loving is probably going to be 6 to 8 weeks after you have your baby. You probably physically won't feel like yourself, and that is okay. You are going through so much, and people are different. Some people are like super excited to have sex after having a baby. I read the stuff that goes on in the Facebook group sometimes, and some women are so excited to be having sex, like they're trying to have sex before the 6 weeks. The reason why you'd want to be careful about that is because even if externally things are looking pretty great, inside you might still be healing, so you don't want to mess that up. You don't want to cause infection. But I mean, some women have sex drive right away, or if you're a guy watching this, I heard that testosterone drops after a baby's born. I don't know how that affects you. If you have experienced that and know how that affects you, or you have any wisdom on that, feel free to leave a comment and teach us. But you might be a woman who has a baby and then has a really banging sex drive. Amazing. That's not my experience. My experience is I am tired. I'm really tired. The more kids you add to the mix, the more tired I am. You'll want to have good communication between you and your person, and you want to love each other well, whatever that looks like for you. Also, acts of sexual intimacy can be done using other elements of your physical self. So that is not what I'm going to teach you on this video, but I'm sure those videos exist. Oh, something kind of interesting that I didn't expect first time around is milk coming out of you while you are connecting sexually with your person. That's kind of funny. Don't be alarmed. Good things are happening, and it just is going to take some adjusting, maybe on both of your ends. As much as you can not put pressure on that experience and just be like, wow, we just had a baby, we get to connect with each other. It might suck or it might be amazing. We don't know, but either way, we love each other. We're on the same team. We're going to try and make this work. I think you just go for it. And as with most things in life, practice makes perfect. So you can practice as often as you want and better it over time. Pressure though. Some people want to have a lot of sex after having a baby, and others want to wait for a long time. And I think as long as you guys are both on the same page and you're talking through your needs and making sure you're both heard and respected in the process, I think you'll be good. You're gonna be great. And you're so pretty. I don't know who you are, who's watching this, but I just know that you're so pretty. If you just had a baby, your body is a magical wonderland. It's of art. It's fantastic. So the last thing I want you to do is look at this body of yours and think bad thoughts. No way. And you know what? You would never think those thoughts about your baby's body. And your body used to be a baby's body. So try and tap into the way you see that body and love yourself similarly. This is all just my opinion because there's no right or wrong answer to how many kids you should have. You know your body, you know your life better than me. This person said, the idea of having more kids, I'm on maternity leave with my first and I hate it. I think I want another baby. I'm confused, but that's okay. That could be a really good picture of what hormones do to your emotions. She's on maternity leave with her first child, hates it, and is thinking about having another baby. That's probably a typo, but also it could just be how we actually feel. I have 3 kids. The gap between my first and my second is 4 years. The gap between my second and my third is 15 months. The 4-year gap wasn't a planned 4-year gap. So I had Eloise around like when she was older, baby stage. If you go back and watch some of those videos, I was like, oh, it could be cool to have kids close together because then you're already in the thick of baby life and you just bang out another one and then you're like drowning in baby life. But what the heck, you already have the baby swing out, you already have your stroller, you can do it. You're tired, but you're already tired. So I was thinking maybe it would be worse to like be rested, know what life is like again without being dead tired in newborn baby life, and then jump back into it. I thought if you just go for it and you really go all in with kids close together, it will be a lot and maybe you'll feel like you're drowning, but then really soon you'll feel like you're swimming or even relaxing on the side of the pool while your kids swim together. Then what happened? Eloise, when she was about a year old, slightly over, that we moved to Spain. And then I knew I didn't really want to have another kid during that transition. And what actually ended up happening was I got really depressed, really like terribly depressed. I love being in Barcelona. It's a beautiful place. I love my family, but my mental health was not good at that time. So thankfully, I didn't get pregnant during that time. Then went to a mental hospital. You can watch videos on that if you want. But after recovering from kind of the depression and getting the help that I needed and making sure family life was back to where it should be, I thought it would be great to get pregnant again. So we tried and didn't get pregnant. I don't know the exact timeline of that. I just know that with Eloise, we barely had to try. We got pregnant. It was like we decided that we would love to have a kid after being married for 5 years, and we got pregnant really fast. With Wilson, it just didn't happen even when we tried. And then we moved back to the States and found out we were pregnant during that transition back to America. That gap I thought was gonna be too big. I'm super close to my little sister. She's like my best friend, she's the best. She's 2.5 years younger than me, and I loved that gap. I just felt like that was such a solid time for us to, like we had some of the same friends, but we also had different friends. We went to school together, but we also had space. I don't know, she was just my person. So then I thought that would be so great to have my kids be the same difference. And then it didn't happen. I thought 4 years was gonna be too far of a gap. And I also thought because I was having a girl and then I kind of hoped I would have a girl again, but I had a boy and I was really afraid of having boys. I don't know if you're new here, but I was super afraid of having a son. Love him, you should definitely have sons, highly recommend it. But at the time I was really nervous, and the 4-year gap ended up being amazing. Eloise was old enough to understand what was going on. Of course, she definitely still had times of like crying when the baby cried, but it was easier to reason with her. She slept through the night, she was potty trained, she was able to help with the baby, and it just felt like overall a much easier transition. Then right after Wilson came out, when he was, how old was he? Like 7 months old. Math is not my thing and all of this history blurs. I found out I was pregnant again. I'm like holding Wilson in my arms thinking about this. He was a baby, and I'm like, how in the world am I supposed to have another baby when I have this baby right here? And if you go back and watch some of those videos, you'll see Jessica crying because I was so freaked out about having them so close together. Also, we were quarantined, the world was shut down, we were homeschooling Eloise. It was a lot of things all at once, and we were starting a business. It felt like too much. And Then the pregnancy was harder than the others, and then she came early, and because of COVID, family couldn't come. There were a lot of elements to that made it really challenging. What I'll say now is that we're past the really, really hard part, I think. I think there are gonna be really hard days, but the newborn stage with a premature newborn who was having breathing issues and then a lot of reflux issues, and Wilson, he wasn't even walking when Jules was born. So he was still a little guy, and he didn't like her for a very short time, but it felt really big. I remember being like, wow, he doesn't understand why I have a new baby here. I was gonna say he never hurt her, but that's not totally true. He did have moments of being rough with her and sometimes aggressive where he'd hit her or kick her. Pretty rare, and we were always right there to catch it. Now, it's the cutest thing. They interact with each other. Jules crawls to him to play with him. All three kids get along. I think it's amazing. If you're asking me, do I think you should have more than one kid? My answer is yes. If life allows for you to have more than one kid, if your body allows for it, if finances allow for it, if your family is one where having another kid is something you can do, I would say 100% my opinion is have another kid. I put in all those different loopholes because some people want more than one kid and they just can't do it. If you're someone who has only one child, then my friendly recommendation would be hang out with cousins or hang out with friends who have kids, something so that your child has a lot of youth, a lot of young people around them, because I think siblings or young friends or cousins or whatever, they teach you something really valuable. They introduce competition. They teach you how to communicate. They teach you that you can't just talk and talk and talk, but you actually need to listen. You need to share. They help you with like regulating your emotions. You learn to relate to someone other than yourself. I think there are so many benefits to having more than one child. Even for Eloise, she was an only child for 4 years. And then in the last 2 years, she's become a big sister of 2. And I've seen her grow in such beautiful ways now that she has younger siblings to care for, and she's learning kind of what it means for me to share my time. And I don't know, I just think it's beautiful. So, I also think siblings are very special because as they grow, they are their own team. And one day, I'm probably gonna die before my kids. Oh man, I hope I die before my kids. I don't want my kids to die before me. Yeah, so then my kids are gonna be without me and Sean and their older family, but they're gonna have each other, and they're gonna have people who share all their memories. And it's just so special to have each other in that. And like when I annoy them, they can talk about me to each other. That'll be so cute. Do I think you should have more than one child? I do, if you can. If you can't, but you want to, you have my love, and I'm so sorry. And I think that there are wonderful ways that you can find relationships that will help your child to thrive, similarly to siblings. Oh, and then the age gap thing, there are benefits to both. Spreading them out, there's an ease in a lot of ways, but that's only initially. Then later, maybe the sad thing is they're not quite as close as like if you have them super close together, then they're little buddies, they play together, you can just let them be. I had the most beautiful thing happen. I can't remember if I told you this in the last video. My kids were all playing together in Jules' room, and they closed the door and said, "Mama, don't come in." I was like, okay, sure. Actually, I yelled, "Please don't let your sister choke. Watch Jules." But then I closed the door and I was like, yeah, Mama's not coming in. Mama's staying out here. And I thought, wow, I really graduated. That is the most beautiful thing, because the last 8 months has been just me hovering over them, or some adult hovering over them, to make sure that nobody dies. And now they can make sure each other doesn't die. Wilson has even gotten the hang of saying, "Mama, Jules choking?" And I'm like, no, she's not choking, but thank you for checking in. He also did the cutest thing. I often say to my kids, "You okay? You okay, guys?" And Wilson, the other day, I asked him to go into the room to check on Jules to make sure she was okay, because she was playing on the floor. He goes in and he's playing with her, and then he comes back out and he said, "Mama, Jules, you okay? Jules, you okay?" Like, she's okay. But then, do you get it? He's being so cute. I love when he talks. I love the stage when little kids talk and they try to say all kinds of things, and it just comes out so cute. Like, he saw a helicopter and he was like, "Helicopter." I like you so much. Balancing responsibilities with your spouse. There's not a simple answer for that other than communicating. Absolutely communicating. Like, Sean and I recently, we weren't communicating very well. It felt like every time we tried to talk about something big, it would go in a circle and end in kind of like tension, or I was gonna say, or somebody crying, but he doesn't really cry, so it's just me. He came up with the idea. He said, what if instead of talking to each other about some of this stuff, we journal about some of this stuff and then share the journal with each other and talk through what we've written in the journal, and then that like leads to good conversation. It's actually been really helpful. But whatever, you don't have to do that. My point is find a way to communicate, because you need to delegate responsibilities. You need to spread things out. You cannot handle everything. There's going to be stuff that is solely yours to carry. So if you are a breastfeeding mother, then feeding is on you, unless you're pumping and then someone else can bottle feed the baby. But if you are a breastfeeding mother, solely breastfeeding, that's a big chunk of your day taken out with a newborn. That's what you're doing every few hours. That's a big deal. If you have a reflux baby, you're probably holding the baby after. There's just a lot that goes along with it. So then someone else in the family, your spouse or even anyone, I don't know what your support system is, can do other things. They can take care of the older sibling, they can clean up, they can prepare meals, but you guys would want to talk about it. If it's not talked about, you guys are assuming you know what the other person is thinking, and that doesn't go very well. And you can end up feeling resentful or having expectations that aren't met and then feeling really bad about it. So you're gonna want to talk as much as possible. Bring in outside help if you need it. What boundaries or habits do you create as a mom to stay mentally, emotionally, relationally healthy? I learned a lot from my experience of going into depression with Eloise. It wasn't with Eloise. You know, someone has written me like, do you feel bad correlating depression with your child? Like, will she grow up to think she was the reason for your depression? And I just want to openly say, Eloise is not the reason for my depression. I think becoming a mom knocks you off your feet in a way that a lot of us aren't prepared for. And then my personality is one where I'm like, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay, and then I'm not okay. And then I've suppressed my feelings so much that I don't even know why I'm not okay, or if I'm not okay, or where to start. And I think with that experience, I didn't know what I needed until I was so far gone, until I was to the point where I was like, I think I don't want to be alive anymore. And I told that to my family. I said that, I mean, I don't remember exactly how it went, but basically I was like, I want to not be alive anymore, but I know that my family needs me. When I got to a point where I was like, I want to not be alive anymore, and I think it might be better for my family if I was gone, I knew I needed help, because then it was like nothing else was holding me. And it was at that point that I got like dramatic help. Like immediately we went somewhere, and then I was put in this 10-day program with a mental hospital, and it was very, very helpful, amazing. And then after that I had a counselor. Within that program I had group therapy. All of that to say, what I learned in that process is I need to be quicker to speak up when something's not okay. And so from having Eloise and that whole experience to then having Wilson and now Jules, I feel totally different, so much better, so much more capable of being able to say like, something's not right, I need help. I've gone to counseling, so I know how to talk to a counselor. I have a doctor that I'm really open with, who I've been able to say, listen, if I go into feeling like I'm depressed or something, can I just come to you? My doctor gave me her cell phone number because she knew that that was something I might be at risk for after having the baby. So boundaries, I don't know exactly like what clear answer I can give you other than I know that my own well-being is important. Before, I probably was more like, no, I'll just kind of fake it until I make it. Like eventually I'll feel better. And then time went on and I didn't feel better and I didn't feel better. Now I don't think that. Now I think if I'm not doing well, this is a big problem, because a lot of people need me to be doing okay, and I need me to be doing okay. So I'm a lot quicker to speak up and say, I need help. I need help with making sure I eat well, or I need to be able to move my body so that my brain has endorphins to help it stay high when I feel low. So I don't know if that helps you. I just think now I'm much better about advocating for myself, and I want you to do that. I want you to feel like you are worth standing up for yourself. If you're not feeling well, if you aren't getting enough sleep, like bring someone to your house to enable you to sleep. Pay someone to watch your baby so that you can get a bit of sleep. Work something out with your spouse so that you do the feeding, but then you go right to sleep and they do the burping and the diaper changes. Whatever you need to do. If your child is getting older and still not sleeping, prioritize talking to a sleep consultant. I think sleep is like a major factor in our overall mental well-being. If you are not getting sleep, if you're sleep deprived, watch your child. This is a good example. Watch your child when they're tired, how they lose their minds, go crazy crying. They're not rational, they're not soothable, but then once they finally get to sleep, they're like a new person later. That's you. You're the same. Your body's the same. If you're tired all the time, you're not going to function at your best, and your own rest is really important. So I know that in the early stage of having a baby, it's not realistic to think I want to sleep many, many hours. I had heard stories of babies sleeping like 6 to 8 hours really young. I have never had that. I have 3 kids. None of them have done that, but I did sleep train them around, I don't know. Well, there's 3 of them. I did it at different times, but I did really good with Wilson. We sleep trained him so diligently, and he's an incredible sleeper, and a just much happier guy once he was sleeping well. And then with Jules, we're doing the same thing. And I'm a much better parent when I'm rested. So I do set boundaries around kind of like my own personal health to make sure then I can thrive as a parent and as a friend. Oh, how to be confident in your own parenting when others don't agree. Do you know what? I was really insecure with Eloise. I wanted to be a great mom. I really did. I think I just have this fear that my kids are going to grow up and not like me at all. I've got some issues. Really wanted to do a great job and really wanted to be somebody that they could love and trust and count on, and that we could have a relationship our whole life and be close to each other. And so I also have a problem. I'm just going to openly talk to you as if we're friends. I struggle to trust myself. I struggle to trust whatever's going on inside of me as true. I'm kind of like the type of person who I'm like, oh, I really love this. Oh, unless you love that, then I could love that. I could learn to love that. I'm very impacted by outside thoughts and feelings. I've worked on that a lot so that I can be empathetic and easygoing and a peacemaker while still holding to what I think and feel. But as an insecure new mom, it was really easy to sway me in a direction when it came to motherhood. Like, your baby eats that. Well, your baby should actually be eating this. Oh, you hold your baby like that. You should probably actually hold your baby like this. Your baby plays with that toy. Oh, it should play with this wooden toy. Like things that I would be like, oh my gosh, wow, there are so many ways the camera just died. So I'm going to pick up where I left off. My thought was, there are so many ways to fail at motherhood. Here, I came into it with like my small list, and then you find out the list is so long for all of the different ways that you could fail at this role. And what I have since learned, and it's my recommendation not only for parenting, but just for life, is it's important to have a few key people in your life that you run most things by. So if there is an outside opinion, if you find out, for example, the other day I saw online that there's a family who I really like on the internet, and they don't allow sleepovers. They don't allow their kids to have any sleepovers, not with friends, not with cousins, nobody. And I had no idea that that was even a thing. I grew up having sleepovers. Sean grew up having sleepovers. I didn't have friends who couldn't have sleepovers. So I heard that and I was like, oh my gosh. My own daughter has already had sleepovers and she's just turned 6. So I was like, oh no, I'm not supposed to be doing sleepovers. I didn't know that. And then I kind of was on this like whirlwind of like, my kids are going to be sexually abused. They're going to watch pornography now. Like this is all the, the fear stuff that comes up when they talk about why kids shouldn't have sleepovers. Then I decided to stop freaking out inside my head. And just talk to my people about it. So talk to Sean about it, talk to Becca, who helps me run this channel, and she is upstairs right now because she helps me run Very Good Mothers Club. And so we talked about, what do we think about that? Talked to my sister about it. There are a few more people in my life that I go to, not just for parenting things, but for anything. If somebody's got something to say about my marriage, if somebody has something to say about my job, my faith, the way I do my home life, the way I do friendships, if I am really not sure about something, instead of being like, oh my gosh, wow, I blew it because this person out there somewhere has some sort of opinion, I bring it to my core group of people and I'm like, what do you think about this? How do you think I should move forward? What advice do you have for me? And that's that. Those are the people I trust. And beyond that, everybody can just go and do motherhood the way that they want to, or do life the way that they want to. If people have big issues with the way that I parent, then they should parent differently, and that's fine. And we're not meant to do it all the same. I think that it's really important that we learn to trust ourselves and then also learn to be resilient. Sorry, Sean's texting me a lot. Learn to be resilient in that we're gonna make mistakes, but we can bounce back from them. So we can learn to apologize to our kid or our friends or our spouse or our parents, whoever. We can learn to apologize. We can learn to move forward. We don't have enough energy or mental energy, emotional energy in this life to get really caught up by outside everything. Parenthood is confusing enough as it is. Being a mom is hard enough without everybody else's thoughts and opinions dictating how I feel about my own role. I hope that helps. Okay, I'm gonna end this video. I don't know who you are. I'm kind of getting to know many of you. Not even so much you specifically perhaps, but I'm learning who are the people that are watching my channels. I know that we have moms, we have single moms, we have new moms, we have moms of multiple kids, we have married couples, we have gay dads who are having babies through surrogacy. I'm learning about this. They're writing me. We have families, and we have people who don't have families yet who are watching this because they want to prepare for their future. We have nannies who are watching this because they like to learn and do a better job at work. We have friends of mine and family members of mine who watch just because they like me. And we have people walking through loss, tragedy. I know that many of you are going through really, really hard things. And it is my pleasure, my honor, my privilege to be able to speak into your life for these 30, 40 minutes that you have given me this week. And what I want to tell you is that I think you're doing a really good job. I think that life is very hard and it can be really easy to get hung up in everything that we're doing wrong or the stuff around us that doesn't look the way that we wanted it to look. And what I want you to know is I really believe in you. I think that today when you turn this off, whatever time of day it is, it's important that you go and you look at yourself in the mirror and think about something really awesome about yourself. What are you doing well right now? What's something that you're proud of? What's something that you see in your reflection that you enjoy? I want you to believe in yourself. I really believe in you. And I think that it's kind of a silly thing that I am on the internet talking about motherhood when it is not the thing that I feel like I'm super good at. But what I can be good at is encouraging my friends to hang in there. And that's what I'm doing here with you. And so I just think you're great and I appreciate you so much. And I would love for you to appreciate you so much too. You're doing such a good job. Okay, we'll see you soon. Bye.